So as we roll into the second week working with Johnny Jump Up Flower Elixir, I always feel so silly saying that name. It seems like just such a silly name for such a powerful flower. So as we're moving into the second week, um, I just want to talk a little bit more about this concept of being bold and outrageous. It sounds really good, but then when we think about what would it take for us to embody more boldness and outrageousness, then we have to sort of get familiar with the places inside of ourselves that don't want that or that avoid that. So, one thing to contemplate or be aware of during this month is when do you contract? When do you contract? When do you want to hide, avoid something, run away, crawl back into bed, not feel? Um, what are those types of situations that arise that you literally can feel the muscles of your body like contracting, and then possibly parts of you that just don't want to feel or deal, right? Because becoming more bold and outrageous is like allowing the kind of floodgates of energy to come through. And that's really one of the superpowers of this elixir, is that it's kind of like um, it's like if you've ever had plumbing and they do like snaking to get, the blockage out, or like hydrojetting where they send lots of water down the pipes in order to sort of clean everything out. That's what I sort of envision the superpower of this particular elixir is, like hydrojetting your energy in a sense that mm, it's like opening up the floodgates so that your subtle body can, you know, um, hold more. It's like your container is more able to hold more of your powerful energy. But sometimes, in order to increase our capacity, our container for holding energy and becoming more powerful and bold, we have to experience what it feels like to be hydrojetted. Is the best way I can describe it. It's like, what does it feel like when you have, you know, uh, how many pounds of force of water like shooting through pipes? Probably not super comfortable at first. You get a sense of like the rawness, the kind of chaotic messiness of energy. So, of course, we as humans would tend to avoid that because messy is not sophisticated or elegant or pulled together or got everything in its place, right? It's not controlled, it's out of control, it's wild. And there is this, when I say wild, we can have all these good ideas about like a wildflower or wild forest or being in the wild. It sounds so good. And then there's also wild, scary, wild animals, wild emotions, wild, uncontrollable thoughts or patterns. So really, we're creating more space inside of ourselves to look at all of those aspects. And this week, the focus will be, when do we contract? When do we pull in? Um, When do we avoid or repress or not want to feel something? And the practice is just noticing. So that's the first step, just noticing. If that's all we do this whole month is just notice every time that we want to contract, we're way ahead of the game. And if we take it a step further, we notice ourselves contracting, and then we try to take it a step further, which is to develop compassion for ourselves in this contracted state. It's not necessarily, oh, I feel contracted, I should be relaxed, I should let it move through me. It's more like, oh, I'm contracted. Oh, it's kind of painful, or it's a struggle, or it's very tight in here, or it's uncomfortable. And just the awareness of that oftentimes just creates just enough softness and compassion, to feel that gentleness toward ourselves for that contraction already starts to change things. It gets the ball in motion. So this week, the question or the practice is to notice when we contract.